You're not the sadness that you're experiencing. The sadness is an experience and you are in it. Make a new choice and feel laughter.
We're just not naturally given very many tools. It wasn't like in a textbook. It wasn't on WebMD. It wasn't like any sort of normal information. You get maybe 1 or 2 weeks off to grieve at work, and then like that's kind of it. Yeah. And that was so hard because like when I lost my dad, I didn't need 1 to 2 weeks off like when he died. I need them like 6 months after the fact when I couldn't get out of bed. A lot of people put them in open caskets and go and like cry. That wasn't my experience with my dad. It was a total celebration where people just stood in a circle and like cracked jokes about him, and it was like really special in hindsight because I don't think a lot of people get that when they deal with someone's death. And that's like something that totally is worthy of being laughed at and celebrated.
Hello. I'd like to talk to you today about death. Where's my latte?
My grandmother's coffin, I don't even think was at the memorial. So we go out into the street, and there's no hearse. I was like, well, okay. So we're about to load her up. It's like me and my brothers start cleaning out the back of my dad's farm pickup, getting tie downs and rope and stuff to make sure that my dear sweet grandmother doesn't go flying down the highway. It was a super sad day, and I remember like getting home that night, I'm sitting in my car. I just burst out like hysterically into laughter. Yeah, I think it's super important to find humor in the whole grieving process. The weird backwoodsy like, well, let's load her in the back of the pickup. Yeah, it makes it way more relatable and less scary.
My name is Jason. I work as a paramedic. For us, it's kind of work, but for the people that we go to help, it's the worst day of their life. It can wear on you if you don't have the proper, supports. I have had a few co-workers actually decide to commit suicide. Sometimes I find when I'm talking about this stuff with my friends that I guess aren't in the business, so to say, it's usually them that kind of get a little comfortable. But it's like, ooh, can we talk about something else? Or, ooh, like that's kind of weird, Jason. Like how, that's not really funny. I know it might seem maybe heartless to do it. For us, it's a way of protecting ourselves from the situation. I think that's the only way you can maybe approach it without maybe driving yourself crazy.
She could dance like nobody's business. My mom and my aunts got to go on a world tour with the Jackson 5. She was super young. My grandmother, she would give them alcohol to get them excited and like motivated to perform. I think that's what kickstarted my mom's drug and alcohol addiction at a very young age. She was bipolar, so she had all these mood swings up and down. We would be up so late at night and she would put on Queen and we'd just dance at like 3 a.m. And then she would have these benders where she would just drink alcohol all day and night, and I'd knock on her door and she wouldn't open the door, and then she'd be passed out drunk and I thought she was dead. She just wasn't meant for this earth, She wasn't given the right deck of cards to build a life that was sustainable for herself. Why can't we laugh about how crazy it is that you lost someone that you love? And I mean, yeah, I can make like suicide jokes. It's so off color. But like to me, I'm like, whatever, we have to laugh about it,
He had a brain tumor and they got it out and it came back like a motherfucker. We did impressions of Chris in the coffin. Unbelievable. You can't see me, but I'm rolling around in here. Like, that is horrible. We're at his funeral, and we're making jokes. You take all the tiles and all the pixels of sadness and tragedy. Now you have all these colors, and you can rearrange them into something very, very beautiful. And some days I won't win. I will weep and I will cry. Don't think about your friend in the coffin. Think about the people that are making coffin like pillows. Do you really need a down-filled pillow? Because you're dead.
It's such a taboo topic in our culture, and it's so, but I'm more comfortable when we talk about the fact that it's so real. He would like that I was laughing about it. Like my dad would like that my sister and I were cracking jokes about him not being alive anymore, Like he would laugh at that. part of our culture, I think, to make death dramatic. We traumatize something that is inevitable. There was a point where I realized, like, it's not a trauma. I didn't experience a trauma just because I was young. I was always going to be too young to lose my dad. And the thing is, it's going to happen. You're going to lose someone close to you. You know, I would love to be a part of letting people know that it's going to be okay. After he died, I wanted to be the one who brought him up. Like, I liked talking about him, and not just about his death, but about who he was, and like memories of him. And I held back from doing that because everyone around me was so uncomfortable. In the past couple of years, I've tried to welcome my friends and my family into this world of, like, let me talk about my dad. It'll often be funny. It'll often be sad. It'll often be just for me to be able to talk about him.